SideFinder is going to show us his project, still currently in beta. So Mark, who are you?
Errors are okay.
What are you showing? And and let us know if there's any requests from the community or for the community.
Okay, I'm Mark Rosenberger. I'm president of Connection Incorporated, and the product I'm showing today is SideFinder. And what SideFinder does, it makes it easier to find and file email and Outlook. So I want to first talk just a little bit about design goals. I have about 5 here. One was to be, I wanted to be able to make this application be really unobtrusive. So the interface is designed to not change anything that Outlook does. 2, I wanted to be able to use tags instead of folders to file information. As probably most of you know what tags are here. Tags are just an easier way to file stuff. You can put things under many categories without making duplicates information. 3 was to have an integrated search for both messages and also tags. Many applications have metadata, but it's not searchable, and when the list becomes long, it becomes as cumbersome as the email itself to manage. So 4 was to unify information stores. In Outlook you have these things called PSTs, which are essentially big folders that, and at least in Outlook 2003, you can't search across. And 5 was to what we created, which is something called mnemonic search. Mnemonics are just memory aids, so it's essentially search with memory aids. So maybe we'll go on point 1 here, an unobtrusive interface. So SideFinder is just a sidebar here that sits on the side of your email. It basically tiles everything really nicely here. If I want to see it come up, I just push the mouse over there, and there it is. If I want to see it go away, minimize, and it's gone. So here's we got the list of tags down the side here, and we can tag email using those, just doing a check mark. Sometimes we can. There we go. So to check them, it's just like Outlook categories. You just check the box. If we want to filter messages, we just click one of the tags, and we filter it just like a folder does. So point 3 was the integrated search. One thing that we can do with SideFinder, we changed Outlook just a little bit to allow the thing to search using the field codes here. So right now I have 10,000 messages here across these 2 PST files. If we want to search, all we have to do is type in a little bit of information here, and it does a type down search. So if I want to see an email from Patrick, I can type in Laura, or I can type in Patrick, and I can still see the same thing, just type in a few messages, and I can constrain that to other things. So everything from Patrick regarding DemoCamp, there it is. So it went down from 10,000 messages to 2 pretty quickly. Now the other thing we talked about was searching the tags. So all I have to do is go over to the sidebar, and if I want to search a tag, how I tag something, I can just start typing there, and it does the type down search the same way. Really quick. So talked about unification information stores. The other thing that we wanted to talk about was mnemonic search. Now you've probably seen as I start clicking through these messages, you see these tags come up on the side, right in here. So I can actually use the data to find the meta, not just the meta to find the data. And with folders you have to go from general to specific. You have to click the folder and then find your data that way. With mnemonic search, I can actually just search based on someone's name. If I don't know how the heck I filed this thing, I can just start clicking through my messages, and I can see what tags are related in the sidebar. If I want to see them all, I'm not sure what I tag this thing with, I can just highlight them all, and it shows me all the tags related to this information here. So I can start going back and forth from tag to message and back to tags. It's pretty easy. See, the other thing, with mnemonic search, one of the difficulties of using folders is that you have to figure out a meaningful name for a folder to make it useful to you, because you have to remember what that folder name was to find your stuff. But with mnemonic search, what I can do is if a few emails are related somehow, sometimes I don't really know how they're related. I don't really care. I just want to know that they're related somehow. So if I find one, I can click on it and find the rest. So I can just give it a new tag here. So let's just try this again here. So if these two emails are related, I can give it a new tag. And I don't even have to give it a name, I can just accept the default. So if I happen to find one of those messages again, I see that it's related somehow, I can just click that tag and there's those two messages. So it's a quick way to relate information, and it's one thing that search doesn't really do. Like, search is great if you know what you're looking for, but it's not good if you don't know, and you'll know when you see it. A lot of times we're scrolling through our messages and we're not sure how things are, we're not sure exactly what we're looking for. So using this, you can actually just kind of click around and find what you're looking for. So if I remember that I tagged something maybe back on the 20th, I can just start highlighting these messages and see my tags pop up. It's like, oh yeah, I tagged with project ABC, and there it is. Everything related to ABC. So I've started using this thing in the development of SideFinder itself, and we've come up with some pretty neat business processes. For example, bug reports. So if I wanted to, if I have a bug in this email, and I want to tag it as bug and send it off to my developer and so he can fix it. So I take a look at, bugs. Here's the bug folder. And when my developer comes back and he says, okay, that bug's done, I can tag that bug with done. Right down there. So now we know that that bug's done. So it's a business process that's really ad hoc, and I can do this thing really quickly. So that's about it for what this thing does. It's pretty basic. We just want to be able to find information fast, typing, and being able to do the same in the metadata. And it works really fast. Let's see, there's one more thing here. Actually, if you take a look at just an example to compare this thing with folders. If we look, how many of you have seen something like this, where you're trying to get to the bottom of the root of a folder, and you got to click through about 5 different things? D, a big long folder tree. So I'm going all the way down to the bottom here to get to folder G. Now that's a pretty long process. If I were to tag this thing with my messages with A, B, C, D, E, F, G, I don't have to go from general to specific. I can just go and find G and click on that, and there's all the messages related to G. So I can find that information a lot quicker. It looks more like your mind. You don't have to actually go from hierarchies in your head. You can go straight to the information that you want. Another thing that I realized that you could do is you can annotate email. So for example, let's say I was working on project ABC, and I wanted to annotate one of the messages with an action item. So maybe that action item was make sure you get the permits for that building. So when I actually click on that message, it's going to show me my little note over here, which is just a really ad hoc way to see what you're doing. So you can almost stumble upon this kind of metadata when you're going through your messages. So this was just SideFinder. We started building it for email because we figured this is a pretty big market. You know, people have a tough time managing their inbox when you get hundreds of messages per day. But the beauty behind this interface is that it doesn't have to just be email. And if you start looking at this thing, like, why not be able to tag documents the same way that you could tag email? Like, for example, I just select the document and give it a tag over here. It could work the same. And we've actually investigated doing this, and it'd probably take a couple months to use the same tags for your files as you can your email. And I'll take that a step further. Why not use that in Gmail? Like, if I select a message, I should be able to tag that some way. And in Gmail, they have these things called labels, which are great for Gmail, but you can't use them anywhere else. So I'd like to export those labels to SideFinder and be able to use those labels in conjunction with Gmail. So there's a lot of different ways that you can use this interface, and Outlook is kind of just a start. So the goal, I guess, in the end is to basically be the universal conduit through which people organize their information. Right now we're starting with Outlook. That's about it. Questions?
Cool. Can you do that search with Outlook's native search function, just to do a speed comparison?
Yeah, Outlook's native search function. Anyone here use Outlook? Outlook 2003? Do I even have to do that demo? Because we don't even, I don't have time.
Can you do the search based off of IP? There's like what you're talking about with other applications. I moderate a couple forums online. It'd be really nice to be able to use the meta tags, base them off of an IP, so I can get rid of the jerks and the trolls. I might be able to filter them out faster and yank them before.
That's one of the things we want to do is like integrate this thing with blogs. So you see tags on blogs all the time. Like, it'd be nice to have a little export function, say export tags to SideFinder, and then be able to use the SideFinder interface, which is like much quicker to be able to search and stuff on blogs. Like, there's just an endless amount of things that you can do. Any application you can think of that you want to organize information, you could apply it to SideFinder, because it works essentially the same. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just curious, how was it tying into Outlook? Was there like
Outlook's a pig. It is really difficult to get in there. So what we actually were building this as an Outlook add-in to start, and we said, okay, enough of that. Outlook's too limited, because we were trying to use the search function in Outlook itself, and it was terrible. So we built SideFinder as a core standalone application itself, and then a plug-in to it through Outlook. So we're going to use that plug-in, like a plug-in modularity to plug into other applications. One of the great ones I was thinking of would be Picasa, like organizing photos, because photos don't have any metadata at all tagged to them. So it'd be nice to be able to do that easily. And you know, like we went to Costa Rica with my family, and you know, where do you file a picture of me, my 2 daughters, and my wife in Costa Rica? Do you file it under Costa Rica? Do you file it under Sonia or Riley or Holly or me? You know, I don't know. Like, it'd be nice to be able to just tag with 4 different tags, and then you're done. And the same thing could happen in the interface with Picasa. When you click on a tag, it filters all those pictures related to that tag. And my time's up.
Does it work without tagging?
Does Outlook work without tagging?
No, does the SideFinder work without tagging, or is it tags only?
Well, I don't understand what you mean.
So can it, so we know the Outlook search function is a pig, right?
Mhm.
Can it do a free word search?
Yeah, like if I just wanted to use the search function with SideFinder, I can go ahead and do that. Just minimize and just use my search here.
But can it search for anything beyond just, you know, a sender and subject?
Right now, no. And the reason for that is that we don't want to compete with a desktop search.
Okay.
Desktop search does it fantastic. Actually, what we want to do is integrate it to desktop search. So something like X1, for example, is a nice desktop search. And we bring up this interface. X1 can do a search like from anything. You know, the Google desktop as well. It searches every part of a message and every part of files, but the problem with that is sometimes you can't constrain it well enough and you get too many results. So we just kept it really simple in Outlook. We wanted to have a quick and dirty search that does 95% of what you needed to do. But I can't see why you couldn't use SideFinder with X1. When you click on a message, it shows you the tags related to it, and then you filter and stuff that way. Because X1 still has Save Search with folders, but you can't search those folders. So when your folder list gets long, you're going to run into the same problem. It'd be nice to be able to search your tags and then filter messages in X1. Or do a complex search to find the things that you want, tag it, and now you don't have to do that complex search again. You can just click your tag.
Are you storing the tags in the PST?
No, the tags are outside. It's a completely separate database.
So if you tied this into a whole bunch of different applications, you'd have all the tag data probably in one location then?
Yep, exactly. And actually what we want to do is to be able to have that tag data exported to our servers and update it. So wherever you install SideFinder, it does an update to whatever computer you're on. So if I'm surfing the web at home and I tag a bunch of things, I want to come to work, start my computer, start up SideFinder, and have those tags automatically download, just like Fox marks as they add into Firefox.
What happens if you move stuff around? Let's say, for instance, you move folders or you move files, do the tags follow them, or do they?
The tag is tagged to the hash on the email, so it doesn't matter where that email goes.
Okay. And same with the folders then you might do?
Same thing, yeah.
Okay.
We actually want to index the folders. Right now, the indexing process works on existing categories in Outlook, but we want to index people's folders so that when they actually download this thing and want to start using it, all the information gets pushed over to the tags, so they don't have to duplicate what they've already done. Same thing for things like Flickr, Delicious, export those tags. Leverage everyone's work, and there's interfaces there's APIs in Delicious to be able to do that.
All right. Well, thank you, Mark. So one last question. What can the community do for you, if anything?
Sign up for the beta. Help me test.
All right. What's the
SideFinder.net.
SideFinder.net.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Great. And you're hanging around here so people can catch
Yeah,
afterwards?
for sure. Come and check it out and play with it, see if we can break it, which we probably can't.
Right on. Thank you, Mark. Great work.
Thanks.